bullshit! You know what? Get the fuck out of here! Fucker.
The famous Paul Teutul Jr. needs no introduction. He is well known in the area of custom-made chopper-style motorcycles with amazing designs. He rose to stardom thanks to the reality TV show American Chopper, which covered the everyday operations of Orange County choppers. But what really happened between Paul Jr. and his father? Has the duo finally reconciled? Well, stay tuned because you are about to find out all the juicy bits about what happened between Paul Jr. and Paul Sr. and the heartbreaking tragedy of Paul Teutul Jr. Paul Michael Teutul Jr., an American reality television star, was born on October 2, 1974 in the United States of America to Paul Teutul Sr. and Paula Teutul. He grew up with three other siblings, two brothers and a sister. They include Daniel, the proprietor of Orange County Ironworks LLC, Michael, the star of the reality TV show Orange County Choppers, and Christina, professional nurse. He is also the founder of Paul Jr. Designs, which builds bespoke motorcycles and sells branded apparel. Teutul, along with his father and younger brother Michael, rose to prominence after being featured on the Discovery Channel's reality television series American Chopper. In 2002, Paul began working summers in his father's steel firm Orange County Ironworks. When he was 12 years old in high school, he participated in a Board of Cooperative Educational Services program that helped him build his metalworking abilities. After graduation, he worked full-time at Orange County Ironworks, eventually rising to the position of head of the railing shop. During this period, his father started spending more time making motorcycles for fun. In 1999, Paul Teutul Sr. founded Orange County Choppers after recognizing his son's flair for metallurgy and fabrication. It is no news that Paul Teutul Jr. rose to stardom following his appearance on the reality television show American Choppers. He served as the primary designer and fabricator for his father, Paul Teutul Sr. Previously, he was the head of the rail shop at Orange County Ironworks. However, following a conflict with his father and business partner, he resigned from his position on April 9, 2009. On the April 30th episode, Heffenly chose to leave his full-time position with the company. In subsequent episodes, he returned to Orange County Choppers as a consultant, assisting in the construction of bikes. While his father was away the same year, he founded Paul Jr. Designs and created a dog park in Montgomery, New York. TMZ stated in April 2010 that he planned to launch his own motorbike firm to compete with Orange County Choppers. However, the next year he began constructing motorcycles under a non-compete agreement with Orange County Choppers. He did, however, appear in the Discovery Channel's new series American Chopper Sr. vs. Jr., where he competed alongside Orange County Chopper. Paul Jr. Designs also built two motorcycles for the film Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Out of the Shadows, even before Kim Kardashian dropped her earring in the ocean or any of the drama that wasn't involved in the Real Housewives. There was a television feud that quickly became a meme because it was so memorable. Paul Teutul Sr. and Paul Teutul Jr., the iconic father-son team from American Chopper, became embroiled in their most provocative argument in the history of the show. In the year 2008, a conversation about Jr.'s persistent tardiness at work takes place in the office of his father during an episode of the 5th season of Friends with all guns blazing. Paul Sr. rips into Paul Jr. with all of his might, pointing out that he shouldn't have to babysit his grown son. This instantly causes their conversation to escalate. The lack of self-control that Jr. exhibits is a result of his inability to understand the argument from his father's point of view. Before Paul Jr. was eventually fired from Orange County Choppers, the two of them continued to yell in each other's faces, even though it wasn't formed until 2011 and didn't gain traction on social media until early 2018. The argument meme that we come to know and love today was inspired by these final few moments. However, the father and son are delighted that their formerly hurtful remarks are now having a positive effect on people. This was stated in a video that was uploaded to YouTube in 2018 for Discovery. The father and son were unable to fully comprehend the reason why the meme got so popular and the genuinity of American Chopper. There are typical scenarios that have had Paul Jr. and Sr. at each other's throats. This ice because they are both frustrated with each other. There was a time that another argument happened as soon as Sr. arrived to check the shop floor. In the first season episode titled Daytona Bike Week, their co-workers instantly saw that there was already tension in the air. Paul Sr. then begins to question what was going on, which ultimately leads to him putting his son in his place for speaking up. Jr. is deeply engaged with getting the finer elements of his work as accurate as possible. As the two of them call each other every name under the sun, their co-workers go Outdoors, away from all the tension and bad energy, the sequence does go some distance toward showcasing Junior's more subdued side, despite the fact that it is a typical argument between the two of them. When he spoke into the camera, he admits that he believes his father sees him as a personal target looking for anything that he might be lacking. The fact that Junior is able to argue with ease while he is working is something that some Office fans like, and they also acknowledge that he is able to maintain his dignity while offering his defense. During an interview with the 700 Club, Junior was able to look back on his relationship with his father and explain why it was eventually time for him to leave the shop. He was able to do this because he understood the circumstances that led to his departure when the television show American Chopper shut off its engine for the very first time in 2010. The show made sure it did so with a resounding bang, and just as you might have guessed, there was another argument. It all started when Junior informed his coworkers that Senior is on his way to inspect a new production bike, which means that they need to make sure that the shop floor is in good shape. This information was revealed during the final episode of Season 6 when Junior arrived. Paul Sr. was already bubbling with ideas for how they might better their product, which Junior did not take very well, but this time the drama unfolds in a different manner, in contrast to the more visceral and offensive disputes that they would normally have. Rather, they were simply reflecting on the familial drama that has already occurred within their lives. Junior brings up the fact that their communication is improving, putting an end to the days when they would verbally attack each other and throw their fists at each other. This causes the two to get somewhat overwhelmed with emotion. Having said that, there is still a great deal of tension that is simmering beneath the surface, as Junior believes that the sudden presence of his father is a little bit too coincidental. American Chopper Sr. vs. Junior depicts the rivalry between the two while also highlighting Junior's own shop, Paul Teutul Jr Designs, which specializes in more than just motorcycles. The company's initial shop was in the same area of New York State as Senior's Orange County Choppers before it relocated to Florida. Junior also took to the airwaves with the Paul Jr podcast that premiered in 2021. He commented on Instagram, "This is something I've wanted to do for a very long time." He also penned the bill designing My Life of Choppers, Family and Faith, which was published in 2017. When asked about being fired from his father's shop, Paul Jr. expressed gratitude. Paul Jr. Designs a non-compete clause prohibited him from building motorcycles for 1 year. The year apart from constructing bikes benefited me. Working with my father had become so negative, it was a poisonous environment, that I had lost interest in constructing motorcycles. However, leaving Orange County Choppers allowed me to create my own positive environment. My creativity took off. I matured as a guy for the first time. I realized what others had tried to tell me: my relationship with my father was unhealthy. He explained. Junior told people that he and his father did not speak for 10 years. It was a tough situation for both of us and we were really at odds. He added it wasn't until 2018 that they resolved their disagreements and worked on their relationship. The two have now attempted to repair their relationship, even launching American Chopper for the Discovery Channel in 2018. Paul Teutul Sr. even claimed that people should not expect to see him and Junior working at the same shop again. Working together was the downfall of our relationship, and I'm not willing to give that up again, Sr. told people. Even with Paul Jr. and Mikey out of the show American Chopper, Paul Teutul Sr. has found another way to argue with his children, further separating himself from his family. He has also tried to distance himself from his family. The case that Paul Sr. has filed with the Supreme Court of New York State, which is the lowest court in the state, asserts that the elder Teutul has the right to purchase his son's ownership in Orange County Choppers Holdings Inc., the corporation that is responsible for Orange County Choppers. Paul Sr. wrote a letter to Paul Jr. in which he informed Paul Jr. that he was considering exercising a stock option that would enable him to purchase Paul Jr.'s holding at a price that had been determined in advance. The stock options are believed to be worth more than $500,000, and the complaint mandates the extra $1 million be awarded as damages following his departure from Orange County Choppers. Paul Jr. has established his own industrial design firm, and Mikey has been undergoing treatment for an alcohol issue. As a result, Orange County Choppers is now without Paul Jr. Paul Sr. had stated in front of the camera that he does not communicate with any of his children, and he continues to living in his fortress of seclusion with his recently discovered wife Beth Dillon. It was also revealed in a number of awkward show candidates that Paul Sr. expressed his contentment with the fact that his sons are no longer employed at Orange County Choppers, much to the dismay of the other employees who are still employed there. In 2009, Teutul developed a dog park in Montgomery, New York, which he used to launch his own design firm, Paul Jr. Designs. His first product design was a facelift for Coleman's Road Trip Grill in 2010, which was the event commemorating the company's 10th anniversary. According to the episode of American Chopper titled Stuart Ho's Bike that aired on February 4, 2010 Teutul presented Bamboo Pets with a proposal for a line of dog toys according to a rumor that was published by TMZ in the middle of April 2010. Teutul intended to take on Orange County Choppers by launching his own motorbike firm. Michael Toto, Vinny DiMartino, Joe Pugliafico and Robert Nub Collard are among the people who have previously worked for the Orange County Choppers according to the report from Teutul. Teutul started producing motorcycles at PJD after waiting out a one-year non-compete clause with Orange County Choppers. PJD is featured on a new series on the Discovery Channel called American Chopper Senior vs. Junior. Orange County Choppers is now the company that the corporation competes directly with. After leaving his position at the Orange County Choppers, Cody Connolly joined the PJD. The year 2014 saw the formation of two teams by PJD, which were responsible for the creation of two Azeroth choppers for the video game World of War CF, which was developed by Blizzard Entertainment. It was during an episode of American Chopper titled Gas Tank Protector McGuff that Paul Teutul first met Rachel Beezer, who would later become his wife. She became friends with Paul after she had played the role of Femcuff Girl on the show. Their relationship began on August 20th, 2010, and after a while they tied the knot. As a model and company owner from the United States, Rachel Beezer has enjoyed a great deal of success during her career. In addition to fashion editorials, she has been featured in advertising campaigns for big-name businesses in Montgomery, New York. She is the proprietor of the Oliver & Business, which is a booming haute couture business owned by her. Because the store is frequented by a large number of customers on a daily basis, the company is able to maintain a high level of interest throughout the year. Even though Rachel is already well known for her modeling career, her reputation skyrocketed after she tied the knot with Paul Teutul Jr. Rachel's life has been the subject of a great deal of curiosity ever since the public revelation of her relationship. Many people have been curious about Rachel, wondering who she was, how old she was, what she did for a job, and other details about the reality television star's wife. In New Jersey, the wedding was held at the Bonnet Island estate and there were over 100 guests in attendance. Rachel's wedding dress was the product of the television show Say Yes to the Dress, and the cake that they used for their wedding was a confection from the show Cake Chef. There is a child that the loving couple has together. February 2015 saw the arrival of their son, who they named Hudson Seven Teutul. Even after all these years, the family has not moved out of their lovely home. Upon entering the family business and beginning his role as a star in the American Chopper series, Paul Teutul Jr. found himself thrust into the public eye. Although the Teutul family continued to expand their chopper business, they began to gain some attention as a result of their efforts. The Discovery Channel took an interest in Orange County Choppers a little less than 3 full years after True Blue made its debut at the Biketoberfest in the year 1999. Beginning at the turn of the century, Discovery began moving its attention to reality programming in an effort to appeal to a more diverse audience. Initially, the pilot episode of American Chopper was broadcast on the network for the first time on September 29, 2002. The jet bike was constructed by Paul Sr. and Paul Jr., who were the protagonists of the pilot during the Laconia Bike Week in New Hampshire in June of 2002. This bicycle was scheduled to make its debut when Paul Jr. neglects his work responsibilities in order to play golf. During a moment of crisis, things begin to become uncomfortable with the Teutuls. From the very beginning, the airing of the second pilot took place on January 19, 2003. The Teutul family was presented to the audience in a more comprehensive manner. In this episode, Paul Sr. and Paul Jr. also had a discussion regarding the former addictions to alcohol and drugs that both of them have had in the past. American Chopper was a pioneer at the time. There were not a lot of reality shows that were based around a company and its day-to-day activities in a documentary approach. Even from the very beginning, it was abundantly evident that the show was about more than just the construction of out-of-this-world one-of-a-kind helicopters. The dynamics of the company's employees, customers, and family members would all be brought to light, which later contributed to the show's magical rise in popularity. On March 31, 2003, the official first episode of the series was released. One was given a full-time commitment